Today we will be learning about the Chisholm Trail. A tale of a trail. The Chisholm Trail. The Chisholm Trail is one of the most famous cattle trails in Texas that has been used by countless cowboys and traders. Over 10 million cattle and livestock have been transported through this trail that starts from southern Texas and ends in Abilene, Kansas. But have you ever considered if there was more to the Chisholm Trail than just livestock transportation? Have you ever thought why the Chisholm Trail was so important? Well, in this article, you will find out how the Chisholm Trail impacted Texas and the way it shaped our economy and way of life. Where was it? The Chisholm Trail starts in San Antonio, Texas, and runs all the way through Austin, Rocco, Fort Worth, Red River, splits around the border of Kansas, and ends in Ellsworth and Abilene, Kansas. That is approximately 1,000 miles of traveling by horse or wagon, and with a big herd of cattle, too. You see, this is the area where the cows were transported from, and then starts around San Antonio, and then goes to Austin, passes Austin, Waco, Fort Worth, around Dallas, Red River, and then goes into Ellsworth and Abilene in Kansas. The trail was found in 1867 by a man named Jesse Chisholm who was of Scottish and Cherokee descent. He developed a route to transport goods between trading posts, crossing over from Texas to Indian Territory, which is also known as present-day Oklahoma, and into Kansas. At first, though, they didn't call it the Chisholm Trail. It was referred to as the Trail, Kansas Trail, Abilene Trail, or McCoy's Trail. People didn't start calling it the Chisholm Trail until Texas cowmen soon gave Chisholm's name to the entire trail from the Rio Grande to central Texas. This is Jesse Chisholm. Why was it created? Why was the Chisholm Trail created? Well, when the Civil War ended, the state's only way of making money was their countless longhorns, but no market was available since Missouri and Kansas closed their borders to any Texas cattle in the 1850s due to the deadly Texas fever that they carried. In the East, the demand for cattle was growing, and many men, including Joseph G. McCoy from Illinois, sought ways of supplying it with Texas cattle. In the spring of 1867, McCoy persuaded Kansas to open a route to Abilene, Kansas, on the edge of quarantine area. He began building pens and making facilities and told the Texans that a cattle market was now available. That year, he shipped 35,000 head, which is also another term for cattle. The amount doubled each year into 600,000 head, glutted the market in 1871. That's a quarantine sign. Shipping cattle became a new profession. A few large ranchers such as Capt. Richard King and Abel Pierce delivered their own stock, but trailing contractors handled most of the herds. In 1824, Pryor Brothers contracted to deliver 45,000 head, sending them in 15 different herds, and made a net profit of $20,000. Over the years between 1864 and 1871, the cattle market thrived and was playing a big role in Texas economy. But in 1871, Abilene ceased to be a cattle market, and in 1884, the cattle trail would close. In 1884, the Chisholm Trail was only open as far as Caldwell in southern Kansas. In 1885, the Chisholm Trail ceased to exist and was closed with barbed wire fencing due to a quarantine law. Chisholm Trail ceased to exist. Although although the Chisholm Trail existed briefly, it still left a huge impact on Texas. Cattle ranches started booming across Texas, and cattle became one of Texas's biggest profits and culture. Over 5 million cattle and Mustangs had been transported and used on the Chisholm Trail over its short existence. This would carry on to be one of the greatest migration of livestock in world history. Present day. Now, people know Texas sports cowboys as something that is part of our culture. Every year, a rodeo is held thanks to our background from Texas cattle trails, and cowboys. Young people get to compete on horses, sheep, cows, and bulls to show their skill to be a cowboy or a cowgirl. This goes to show that the cattle industry not only helped our economy, but helped shape our culture and what we do. Credits.